Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroufinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroufinggroup.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Thursday, the 12th of June. I'm Michael Groff. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Dry conditions, temperatures above average. That continues for the rest of the week. As we head into the weekend, it gets even hotter. Highs above 110 degrees for the first time this year, perhaps lasting for at least a few days before a very slight reprieve from the heat occurs for the middle part of next week. What about monsoon moisture? We're watching all of that. All of your normal questions and answers. We get to all of it as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday, 108 degrees, the afternoon high, 83 was the morning low, 104 and 77 are the averages for this time of year. As we take a look outside right now at 12:30 p.m., sunny sky across the area. And yeah, it's hot out there, 102 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point's 38, so it's also dry, relative humidity 11%, the winds are light, and the barometer is falling. Satellite picture out here across the west. High pressure sits to the south and west of us, and it's a case of severe clear across Arizona. Any precipitation is far to the east of our state and will remain so. This ridge will continue to intensify this weekend in response to a developing trough along the Pacific Northwest coast. The watch warning map, we've got our old summertime friend on the board, the Extreme Heat Watch, and that extends from southeast California, eastern Riverside and Imperial counties through La Paz, Yuma, Maricopa, Pima, Pinal, Santa Cruz, Graham, and Greenlee counties. Temperatures here in the lower deserts, the south central and southwest deserts, as well as those of southeast California, expected to be anywhere from 110 to 115 this weekend. And that's what prompts the National Weather Service to issue those extreme heat watches, or eventually it'll likely be upgraded to a warning here later today or tonight. Elsewhere, we've had some big storms across East Texas around the Sabine Pass. And so we still have some flood watches and flood advisories, and it's just been a mess there as they've had some active weather for quite some time. Up north, we've got air quality alerts for parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Convective outlook for today, kind of busy map here. You've got the standard slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for severe storms, parts of Nebraska and South Dakota, but a number of marginal risks for the lee of the Rockies, parts of the northern plains states, as well as along the Gulf Coast and the southeast and portions of the northeast as well, the upper Atlantic coast involved. Of course, here in Arizona, rather quiet right now and will remain so. Here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, basically nothing. Why? Well, high pressure, and it's high pressure in the wrong place to bring any moisture in here, sitting off to the east and southeast of us for this weekend. So we remain bone dry, but could that change? Let's talk about it right now as we get to the models. Have a look. This is the GFS, the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look is what we start with here at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. There's our little wave across East Texas, but for us, high pressure sits to the south and west. The upper heights are slowly climbing. A westerly flow for today. What it means down at the surface for us, sunny sky. What you see is what you get. High temperatures this afternoon topping out around 105 to 109. And that's at least a few degrees above where we ought to be for this time of year. The average high in Phoenix for the 12th of July is 104 degrees. So we will be above that. Now for tonight, the sky is clear. The air is dry. Overnight lows will drop in the 70s for most of us, low 80s in the urban core. Tomorrow, sunny, highs 104 to 108. But over the weekend, as mentioned, a trough begins to develop along the Pacific Northwest coast. Downstream from that, the ridge is going to shift and begin to amplify to the east of us across New Mexico and northern Mexico. So we'll see more of a southwesterly flow in here. The upper heights are climbing, so it's going to get even hotter. High temperatures 106 to 110 for Saturday, 110 to 114 on Sunday, and now it appears this will be the hottest day of the forecast period. These will also be our introduction to the 110s for the year 2025. Lucky us. As we go to Monday, that trough begins to swing toward the south and east, but of course you can see these are high temperatures on Sunday from the National Blend of Models. It's printing out 113 for us here in Phoenix, and whether it's 113, 114, 115, it's just going to be hot. Here's Monday. And again, highs might fall back a degree or two here, but that trough gets closer to us. And as we get to Tuesday, that should dampen the ridge a little bit, bring the upper heights down somewhat. So high temperatures will fall back several degrees. I suspect highs around 103 to 108 for Tuesday, maybe a degree or so cooler on Wednesday, maybe some light breezes at times. If you want to call this a reprieve from the heat, I guess relatively speaking it is, but this is still actually representing temperatures at or even a couple of degrees above seasonal averages. But it does appear, at least based on current model trends, we're going to steer clear of record temperatures. We'll miss the record high by at least a couple of degrees on each of these days. All right, let's keep it going a week from today. This is Thursday, the 19th. Troughing off the Pacific Northwest coast, and don't look now, but kind of a similar pattern is going to start to develop here. That ridge is going to re-amplify, and so temperatures will probably heat back up. Highs may get close to 110 again by the end of next week. This is Friday the 20th. Pretty impressive trough off the northwest coast, but again, the ridge sits to the east of us. Now, obviously, we're going to question the exact positioning and the orientation of this ridge, and could it bring a little bit of moisture in here? There's a handful of models in the ensemble set that say yes. But right now, I would say the preponderance of guidance still keeps us dry. But obviously, we're going to watch this. We'll see how it plays out. But for now, we'll keep the forecast, at least the idea of the forecast, dry out here toward the end of next week and the following weekend. This is 10 days out, Saturday the 21st. 594 ridge sitting to the east of us, and the flow aloft is southerly, maybe south-southwesterly. Now, the other wild card factor is the East Pacific. The tropics in the East Pacific are slated to be fairly active. They look to stay pretty active. So could we bring a little bit of moisture up from the tropics this way? If there's some tropical mischief down there, that's always a possibility to consider as well. So obviously we're going to keep an eye on these model trends. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this goes out through the 26th of the month off the GFS ensemble, and certainly the control member is on board with maybe some moisture coming in here as it's nosing up toward 1/4 of an inch, but really only a smattering of members show any precipitation. One of them in the next couple of days, strangely enough. Not sure about that. But for the most part, this does look dry. European ensemble is much less optimistic there with only 4 members showing any precipitation around here, 4 or 5 members showing any precipitation around here over the next couple of weeks. All right, let's look at temperatures off the National Blend of Models, and yeah, there you go. Obviously this weekend, especially Sunday, Monday, looks like the hottest days of this period, but then temperatures might lower a few degrees only to come back up later next week, with highs staying pretty close to 110 degrees on many days. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. And should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Some say smash the like button. I say, why be so violent? Why? We like the like button. I mean, You could maybe jump scare it. You could gently caress it. You just press it gingerly. Maybe you give it a nudge. Maybe you tap on it. Maybe you brush it. Maybe you dust it. I don't know. There's lots of different things you could do with that like button that don't necessarily involve you. But if you really look, if you want to smash it, you want to hit it with a nuclear bomb, you want to drop a hammer on it, go right on ahead. Whatever you want to do, we appreciate it. But you know what else we'd appreciate though? You like, comment, subscribe to us here so that whenever a brand new video is posted, you get the notifications. It's just all the YouTube stuff that we have to always say because it's an algorithm-based kind of platform, and, the more you comment and the more people like videos, then they show up, they propagate to other places, and other people see them, and that's how it works, all right? I know. It's shameless. I hate that we have to do that at the end of every video, but, it's one of those things. Please help us out. The other thing that helps us out, of course, is if you click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a monetary contribution to us that way, or via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com. That's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is linked up down there too. It's just another way you can help support the channel. We really do appreciate all of your donations. Clayton, for example, I saw in the comments, interestingly enough, Clayton, that are you moving to Santa Clarita? All right. Well, he's. I think if I know my city abbreviations properly, he says he's moving to Santa Clarita, and wanted to know what you can expect there. Well, what you can expect is beautiful weather a lot of the time, especially in the winter. Lows upper 30s and 40s, and highs in the upper 50s and 60s, and in the summertime, look, it can get hot. There are times where you could certainly see temperatures over 100 degrees, but generally 80s and 90s in the summer, lows in the 60s, pretty much just gorgeous weather with some heat. Of course, Santa Clarita, Southern California, there's always the threat of wildfires and mudslides and earthquakes and just all sorts of things that come along with living in California. But other than that, there's the trade-off. There's pros and cons to everything, right? Like here in Phoenix, winters are amazing. No doubt about it. Con, summers are not. Summers are absolutely horrendous. They last way too long. Winters are too short, but, everything has its pluses and minuses, right? No such thing as a perfect place to live. All right. Well, I guess for some people, I don't know. Look, there are people that live on St. Paul Island in Alaska. So look, there's something for everybody. All right. With that in mind, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, quite possibly Adriana related, all linked up down in the description. Check that out. Also, our streaming station available 24/7, 365 called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that. Linked up in the description as well. Video a little late today, battling a headache. So my apologies for that. Otherwise, look, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a terrific rest of your Thursday.